Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 usually sing a song, do you?
No, speak more.
I see, okay. Om Agena Tmidanasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshuluitam Jina Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. So today's topic is apparently Japa.
今日嘅題目係念誦。
And Japa is one of the core principles of Vaishnava philosophy.
念誦咧就係我哋愛士納雅嘅最核心嘅原則嚟嘅。
So Japa is like the root meaning of Japa really is to become free, to let go. That's what Japa really means, to let go of something.
咁 Japa 嘅原意咧，最原嘅意思咧就係話放開我哋嘅心意。
But in Vaishnavism, we're not really letting go of something, but we're creating through the chanting, we're creating a certain environment.
咁其實對愛士納雅嚟講咧，我哋其實嘅意思就唔係話放開或者放低一啲嘢，而係話要創造一啲氣氛。
I forget which canto it is, but I think it's the second or third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It describes sound vibration.
咁喺聖經國家雅談第3篇咧，應該講到念誦咧，就係創造一種嘅聲音嘅震盪。
So, in the beginning, it says, there's a syllable Om, there's a sound.
咁最早嘅咧就係我哋呢個音節 Om 呢個音節就係一個聲音嚟嘅。
So you may remember if you did physics at school that you do this experiment where with sound, you create form. You can send a sound and something will vibrate.
咁我哋喺物理課上面咧做過一啲實驗咧，就話當我哋發出一啲聲音嘅時候咧，就會形成一種形式啊，係咪？一個 form，you create a form， 變咗一種形式。
Form is a creation of sound.
所以形式或者形體咧係聲音嘅一種嘅創造嚟嘅。
So the real meaning of Japa is there's a sound, but what is that sound doing? It's just like if I say somebody's name, you see some image, you see that person.
咁所以我哋發出一啲聲音嘅時候，譬如我哋講一個人嘅名字嘅時候咧，我哋就會創造咗一個形象出嚟㗎啦。
If I say Vishaka, then we all look at Vishaka.
所以當我講 Vishaka 呢個聲音嘅時候，我哋人人都會望住 Vishaka。
So the sound assumes a form.
咁所以呢個聲音咧就係假設咗一個形體出嚟嘅。
So the Japa meditation is to create what? We're creating a form, aren't we? We're saying a name, and within our mind we're hoping that there's a form that is created, that we will see something.
咁所以喺我哋念誦呢個音節嘅時候咧，我哋其實係想創造一個形體出嚟嘅，我哋係想即係聯想到一個形象出嚟嘅。
So there are different types of form, different types of sounds.
咁有唔同嘅類型嘅音啦，亦都有唔同類型嘅形體嘅。
In the Yoga Sutras, it describes that there are 4 different types of sounds.
咁喺瑜伽經裏邊咧就講有4類嘅聲音。
One is like the sound that you utter, loud sound, quiet sound, there's a meditative sound, and then there's like the transcendental sound.
咁有4種咧，就係大嘅聲音啦、靜嘅聲音啦、超然嘅聲音啦，或者係冥想嘅聲音。
And they all have some yogic terms.
咁其實每一種咧都有一啲瑜伽嘅術語嘅。
So each one of those sounds, when you say something to somebody, when you chant japa, are you really concentrating on the form? Are you on the name? Are you meditating on what that sound vibration really is? Is it so? In our case, we say it's a prayer. So we're concentrating on the sound, but more than that, we're concentrating on the meaning of the sound, what that sound is generating.
咁所以當我哋喺念誦 聖名嘅時候，念誦嘅時候咧，我哋係喺度創造一種形體啊，因為我哋係冥想一個名字啊，或者係冥想緊個聲音嘅震盪啊，或者佢嘅意思啊，或者佢係一篇禱文啊，所以其實我哋就喺度冥想緊呢個聲音嘅意思喺邊度。
So who can remember what is a Hare Krishna mantra? What is that? What is that prayer? What is that meaning?
咁有冇人記得
Who can
我哋
say?
呢個 Maha Mantra 想創造一種禱文嘅意思係乜嘢嘅？
Pray to get some more service. Pray to get some service.
Pray to get some service.
一個就係話我哋祈禱啦，祈求我哋可以有更多嘅服務。
So it's like, O Krishna, or source of all what? Huh? What is Krishna the source of?
Energy
Origin.
Energy?
Origin.
Origin? What else?
Source of all sources.
Source of all sources. And then Rama,
happiness
happiness. What
source
else?
of happiness
What else? Huh?
You say Krishna and Rama, and then Hare, like a Rama 做咩意思？
Rama 快樂嘅字講咗啦。
Yeah, let's say like a source of spiritual strength, right?
咁
Strength.
另外就係我哋係呢個名字就係代表我哋靈性嘅力量咯。
And Hare is like the energy of the Lord, the way of addressing somebody.
咁
Right? We
Hari
say
就係
Mr. So and so, Mrs. So and so. So we say Hare Krishna. So it's a way of addressing Krishna or Rama.
咁我哋講 Hare Krishna 咧就係一種稱呼 Krishna 嘅形式啦，就係
So-
針對佢嘅能量嘅。
So, O Krishna, O Rama, please engage me in your service.
咁所以我哋講 O Krishna，我哋呼喚呢個名字啦 ，O Rama 亦都係一個名字啦。請你讓我哋能夠為你服務。
That is the meditation. We're meditating to, and we're making this prayer to be engaged in service.
咁呢一種嘅形式咧就係一種冥想啦。我哋冥想係以一種禱文嘅形式去冥想啦，祈求咧我哋係得到為佢服務嘅機會。
So in our meditation, first we're creating the sound, we're creating that form of Krishna in our mind.
咁所以喺我哋冥想嘅時候咧，我哋首先就係創造咗一種聲音，然後咧就創造喺我哋腦海裏邊一個形象。
And then we're asking for service. Something I can do for you.
然後咧就懇求我哋為佢做一啲嘢。
So in the beginning, there's that materialistic aspect where we're saying, well, can I do something for you because I need something in return?
咁所以喺最初期嘅時候咧，我哋係有一啲嘅物質嘅慾望嘅。我哋為佢做服務，其實我哋都想有一啲嘢有回報，我哋希望得到一啲嘢。
Some people are very, we say, simple-hearted. They just, like that. Others maybe a little bit more complicated. But in general, when people make a prayer, it doesn't matter, what it is, a temple or a mosque. Generally, that prayer is for something in return. We want something in return. It's not a...
咁有啲人就會單純啲嘅佢嘅訴求，有啲會複雜啲嘅。咁但係喺禱文裏邊咧，我哋都一般嚟講咧，我哋都會希望有一啲回報嘅。
Just like I learned, when I went to school, you learn the Lord's Prayer and the Jesus Prayer, whatever, and then it's please give me today my daily bread.
咁好似我哋喺學校嘅時候，以前念天主經嘅禱文咧，念天主經就話懇求天父咧，俾我哋每日嘅食糧。
So it is a more fruitive, and it describes in the Shastra that there's nothing wrong with asking God for these things. Nothing wrong with that.
咁呢啲都係有一啲嘅功利性嘅活動嚟嘅。咁但係經典就話我哋問神一啲嘅回報咧，其實係冇錯嘅。
There's that verse in the Shastra, Kamasava Kamava, Moksha Kama Udaradi, Tivrena Bhakti Yogina Jayate Purusham Param. So it says, if you have all karma or no karma, or you want fruit of karma, in any case you should pray to the Lord. Doesn't matter. At least you're asking the right person.
咁經典就咁講啦，佢話無論你係唔同種類嘅要求啦，有啲回報啦，都可以嘅。咁佢話因為始終咧，你係即係對一個神，你係面對緊一個神。
And it doesn't matter which culture or society in the world you look at. Generally, the older cultures, they all have some deity or some form that if you want this, you pray to this deity. If you want this one, you pray to that deity.
咁喺唔同嘅文化咧、唔同嘅傳統裏邊咧，都有唔同種類嘅神咧，係讓你咧可以你求邊一類嘅回報咧，你就向某一個有一類型嘅神去祈求嘅。
Just like in the Krishna book, we can find in Vrindavan, there's one you can go to that ghat, like the bathing place, and there the gopis went bathing, and because they pray at that place to goddess Katyani to get Krishna as their husband.
咁就好似喺印度啦，有一個即係沐浴嘅地方啦，咁佢嗰度咧就有一個神像，就係叫做 Katyani， 就係咧嗰啲牧牛姑娘去嗰度祈求咧，就係祈求 Krishna 係成為佢哋嘅丈夫嘅。
So that wasn't necessarily a materialistic thing.
咁呢個就肯定一定係物質主義嘅期望祈求嚟㗎啦。
But generally, people they go to the temple, especially like Indians, they like to go to Lakshmi Narayan. And they like to pray to Lakshmi to get lucky.
咁大部分嘅印度人咧都會去Lakshmi Narayan 呢啲廟咧去祈禱，希望得到財富。
And there's one famous
幸運。
Lucky. Get lucky. Get Lakshmi.
Lakshmi. Is it also money?
Generally, people, if you get lucky, that means you get money, right?
Okay. 咁幸運同金錢都
Hi,
係掛
good luck
鈎嘅。
today. People say like that, isn't it? I don't know what it is in Cantonese. Probably a different word, right? How do you say lucky in Cantonese?
好運，好運。Good fortune.
Good
Good
fortune.
fortune 都係好運。
Yeah, good fortune, right? So the idea is Lakshmi is the goddess of fortune.
所以意思 Lakshmi 嘅意思都係好運啦，總之。亦都可以連埋財富嘅意思。
So there's a rich family in India. They're called the Birla family.
咁喺印度好有錢嘅人家叫做 Birla 家庭。
Yeah, and before they were like the richest family in India.
咁佢哋以前咧被稱為係印度最富有嘅家庭。
So all over India they build these temples. They build Lakshmi Narayan temples. You'll see it everywhere. It's called Birla Mandir. Birla Mandir.
咁所以最富有
It's
嘅
charitable.
就係佢哋就崇拜 Lakshmi 啦，有一個廟咧就叫做Lakshmi Birla Lakshmi。
So sometimes you go and have a look at these temples, but it's just when you go there you realize it's not really like temples, or they have priests and this and that, but you feel like it's just a statue. There's no life in the statue. Right?
咁所以如果你去到依類咁嘅廟啊，你會發覺入到去咧都唔係好似個廟嘅，好似只係一個像喺度咁嘅，係冇祭司嘅嗰啲地方。
Generally when you go to some temple in India, especially, they're doing worship, you feel the presence of Krishna, right?
咁一般嚟講，我哋去啲印度嘅廟咧，去到一個廟去崇拜嘅時候咧，點都好啦，我哋都會感覺到 Krishna 嘅存在嘅。
But if you go to the mochi shop, the jewelers, they have so many deities you can choose, right? Which one you want,
咁但係如果你去到頭先講嗰類廟咧，咁佢有好多神像，好多像喺度嘅，你中意拜邊個就邊個㗎啦。
Is it the same?
咁所以係咪一樣？
It's different feeling, right? Different
咁
feeling.
你嘅感覺係唔一樣。
So that feeling comes because the devotees, through their chanting, they create that presence of Krishna.
唔同嘅原因咧，就係話，當我哋奉獻者念誦嘅時候咧，我哋就創造一種Krishna 嘅存在咁樣嘅。
Just like when we install some deity, then there's some jagya, and then some chanting of mantras, and more specifically the Hare Krishna mantra. And Prabhupada said that this chanting is what invokes the presence of Krishna to manifest himself.
所以聖巴巴話：我哋安裝神像啊，或者崇拜神像啊，我哋念誦嘅 mantra 咧，我哋就係要召喚 Krishna 呢個嘅形象嗰個感覺喺度。
So Krishna, we're chanting, and you may say it's some sound vibration, but then hopefully Krishna manifests in your mind, and that mental state becomes elevated to a transcendental state.
所以我哋念誦個 mantra 創造咗一種聲音嘅震盪咧，其實我哋就希望喺腦海裏邊咧係就能夠 Krishna 嘅形象會展示嘅，去到讓我哋能夠進入一個比較超然嘅狀態。
Now, because this chanting is a mantra, it's a liberation of the mind. We're looking for initially liberating the mind.
咁 mantra 嘅意思咧都係話釋放我哋嘅心靈啦，釋放我哋嘅心意。
And everybody can understand to liberate the mind is a wonderful thing.
咁人人都知道，如果我哋嘅心意能夠得到解放咧，係一件好美妙嘅事嚟嘅。
We want to liberate our mind because our mind often gives us a lot of trouble.
我哋都好想咧將我哋嘅心意咧釋放或者解脫出嚟啦，因為我哋嘅心意實在俾我哋太多嘅麻煩。
So many people in the beginning, they will chant the mantra and the hope that like a magic pill that something will happen.
咁好多人最初念誦嘅時候咧，佢哋希望咧好似食咗一啲藥丸咁啊，有一啲神奇嘅嘢會立刻出現啊。
And you'll find different people, they have different abilities to take up that chanting. Some people, they just get the mantra and they start chanting 16 rounds just like natural.
咁我哋知道發覺咧好多有啲人咧，佢哋念誦嘅時候咧，好似即係好有特異嘅能力嘅，佢哋一開始念誦咧就可以念到16圈㗎啦。
And then other people, they will struggle their whole life.
但係有啲人咧就好似成世人咧都喺度即係喺度掙扎嘅，喺念誦嘅時候都喺度掙扎。
Sometimes it's easy, sometimes not so easy, right?
咁有陣時會覺得容易啲，有陣時覺得會好困難。
And this is part of the process that the mind is disturbed most of the time.
咁呢個就係我哋心意咧影響我哋念誦呢一個過程。
And then the day goes by and we haven't really chanted much.
咁有陣時時間耐咗咧，我哋反而會唔係咁想念誦。
And we think, oh, I forgot Krishna today.
咁你會發覺，弊啦，我好似忘記咗 Krishna 添。
So, of course, in the beginning, chanting Hare Krishna is a little bit mechanical. It's hard to chant with feeling.
咁喺初期咧，我哋念誦 Krishna 呢個 mantra 嘅時候咧，我哋係好機械化嘅，好難話好有感情咁去念誦。
Which is why we try to associate the sound. We try to associate the sound also with some activity. Like if we're doing something, then we think, okay, who am I doing it for? Then that sound vibration sort of, it connects the dots. We think, oh, Krishna, oh, I'm doing this for Krishna. Oh, okay, Krishna, Haribol, here I am.
咁所以咧，我哋有陣時念誦嘅時候咧，我哋好希望將佢連接上一啲活動啊。咁然後就諗啦，我做呢個念誦咧，我係將呢個活動係要呈現俾 Krishna 嘅，或者呢個活動嘅過程咧，我係會聯想到啲乜嘢嘅。
And a lot of the time, this is where the modes of material nature come in.
咁當我哋咁樣做嘅時候咧，我哋就受呢個物質自然三屬性嗰個干擾㗎啦。
Because when we're in the mode of goodness, when we're relaxed, we're peaceful, it's often much easier to chant than when we're in the mode of ignorance, sort of half asleep, it becomes difficult.
咁佢點樣影響我哋咧？就係當我哋喺善良屬性嘅時候咧，我哋發覺我哋容易啲念誦嘅，我哋會比較專心啊集中。
So
但
that's
係如果
why
我哋喺愚昧屬性嘅時候咧，我哋就想瞌眼瞓啊，即係好慢啊念得咁。
That's why we find in the Bhagavad Gita, in the later chapters, Krishna's talking about material modes of nature. He's talking about the gunas, the different types of ropes.
所以點解Krishna 喺博家梵歌嘅講或者自然三屬性嘅時候咧，佢話呢啲三種屬性咧就好似啲繩咁樣。
And that's why, especially in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, we place a lot of emphasis on elevating ourselves from the mode of passion and ignorance to the mode of goodness.
咁所以喺練習我哋收集呢個 Krishna 知覺嘅時候咧，我哋就好強調咧，好着重咧，我哋係要從我哋嘅愚昧啦同埋激情屬性咧，係提升去善良屬性。
So we stress that yoga lifestyle of purity and cleanliness and all these different things.
咁所以我哋就好着重係要好似瑜伽收集嗰一種嘅程序咧，係要有呢個純潔啦，同埋同埋清潔，純潔同埋清潔。
Yeah. So we emphasize having a body that's fit for serving Krishna, a diet that's suitable, consciousness through reading, associating, and music and so on.
咁所以我哋好強調咧，我哋嘅身體要乾淨啦，去適應嗰種嘅環境啦。我哋嘅飲食啊，亦都係要好純啦，食素啊咁樣。仲有咩？係啦，我哋嘅聯誼同埋我哋嘅意識，我哋都要喺呢啲方面咧係要做功夫，讓佢變得更加純粹嘅。
In Indian music, there are those different tones: sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni.
咁亦都有啲印度嘅音樂啦，嗰啲音符啦，即係嗰7個音符啦，亦都係幫助我哋去冥想嘅。
Just like in Western, they have sa, re, ma, ga, pa, da, ni, sa. Same sort of thing. Right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is what I learned when I was a small child. My first instrument was what they call a glockenspiel. A glockenspiel. That's in Germany. It's like the little metal plates, and you hit it, ding, 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 ding. This is how you learn the notes.
咁就係我哋細個喺學校上音樂堂最早嘅音符啦，我哋教到你咪發嗦啦、知都嗰啲咁嘅，就學呢啲音符。
So in India, there are also different what we call ragas. You've heard of ragas, right? Different sounds.
咁喺印度亦都講唔同嘅 ragas 就係唔同嘅聲音。
I don't know all the ragas, but each raga is considered to have a visual representation. So if you play that raga, you will see a picture.
咁印度亦都講有關啲 ragas 啊，咁每一個 raga 咧就係同一個嘅形象咧係聯繫上嘅，你有嗰個音咧你就聯想到嗰種形象嘅。
They do some scientific experiments and they put different things and they play that raga and they put like some seeds or something and it will create. They're playing that raga. If you play it the right way, it will assume shape of a flower or some object or something, just from that sound.
咁有一啲科學嘅實驗咧，就係話，如果我哋擺一啲種子係嘛，喺一個碟度，咁如果我哋玩出某一個 raga，咁咧嗰啲碟裏邊啲種子咧就會營造出一朵花啊，或者一啲咩添啊花啦，或者一啲圖形出嚟啦，總之。
It's just a scientific fact that the sounds will create a form.
咁呢個就係科學嘅實驗咧，就係話。
Raga is the same as the meter.
No. Raga is a combination of. It's like we play what's called morning raga. If you ever heard you know what this Shanai is? Shanai is like an instrument. It's a stick and it has like a little reed at the top, like a clarinet, something like an Indian clarinet. And they used to. I don't think they do it anymore now, but they used to play it in Mayapur in the morning. You hear that sound. You can have a look. But if you look on the internet, you'll find like morning raga. It's a sequence of sounds, And that sequence of sounds will create an image.
咁 raga 咧
You can do your own
大約就係
research
話
on
一系列嘅聲音嘅組合，而係可以令到佢創造一啲嘅形象出嚟嘅，或者圖形出嚟嘅。
And there are many, many other examples I'm sure you can research on the internet, But my main point is that if you have the right sound vibration, the right feeling to sound vibration, but it's not just the sound, it's also the feeling that you put with it, the form of Krishna will manifest for you.
咁我主要講咁多嘅意思咧，就係話
That's，my point.
如果我哋係有一種恰當嘅聲音嘅震盪，有一種恰當嘅對個聲音震盪嘅感覺，如果出到嚟咧，我哋就會有 Krishna 嘅形象展示喺我哋嘅內心。
You could do some raga meditation before.
咁所以啲
There
人
you
咧
go.
就會做一啲
You
raga 嘅冥想。
There you go, something else to teach. There are so many different ones actually. And each one corresponds to a different period of the day.
咁每一種 raga 咧就對應日中唔同嘅時段嘅。
Like when we sing the Hare Krishna mantra at different times of the day, one should sing it to different tunes, to different ragas. Like you wouldn't sing the evening arati song melody in the morning. It's not the right time. Lunchtime, you have a different song. Unfortunately, many devotees don't know this anymore. I don't know much either myself, but we had one Prabhupada disciple who was famous Kirtaniya stay in our temple for some time. And, he had been trained by Srila Prabhupada, so like at lunchtime, there's a song that you're supposed to sing to Krishna. At lunchtime, and it's a lunchtime melody. And then you have the evening melody, and you have the morning melody. So sometimes, if devotees don't sing the right melody, it upsets the mood.
所以呢個 raga 頭先講嘅有晨早嘅 raga，咁即係話呢啲 raga 咧係跟個時段，某一個時段就適合唱某一個嘅 raga 嗰個心緒嘅。咁所以點解我哋神像崇拜咧，即係唔同嘅時間嘅 artist 咧係唱唔同嘅 melody 嘅嗰個旋律嘅。咁如果你唱錯咗咧，就得唔到嗰種嘅心緒嘅，即係嗰個 artist 嗰段時間嘅心緒嘅，所以唔可以唱錯嘅。如果你要達到嗰種心緒嘅效果。
Now I see in China many devotees, they're doing kirtan and so on, but they haven't yet figured out that there's certain melodies that they should sing at certain times of the day. They're just chanting any melody without knowing which melody to chant at which time.
咁所以而家內地啲奉獻者咧，佢
But they
哋
will they will figure it out eventually.
佢哋 Kirtan 咧，佢哋就唔知呢一個嘅即係嘅道理啊。咁所以咧，佢就咩時候咧就隨便唱任何嘅旋律，即係佢哋未曾認識到呢一種嘅配合啊。
The one thing in Vrindavan is very traditional.
That's right.
唔得。
Vrindavan 做所有好傳統。
Yeah, because generally a lot of those devotees, they grew up with that, so they're aware of that cultural. But it's not just that. It's even in Western culture, Chinese culture, that you sing different melodies at different times to create a different, the mood. You're trying to synchronize the mood with the time of the day and like that.
即係所以我哋要配合唔同嘅時段唱唔同旋律嘅調子咧，就係同當時嗰個環境咧係去配合和諧一致嘅，咁你先至會有嗰種心緒嘅。
Of course, chanting Hare Krishna is always auspicious.
咁
Doesn't
但
matter
係
what melody.
咁但係如果我哋唱呢個Maha Mantra 咧 ，Hare Krishna 嘅 Maha Mantra 嘅任何時段都係可以嘅，因為呢佢係最吉祥嘅。
Because chanting Hare Krishna should not become a musical performance.
因為我哋念誦呢個偉大嘅曼陀咧，係唔應該將佢成為一種即係音樂嘅表演嘅。
You find in Bengal especially,
所以你喺孟加拉，你會聽到當地啲人咧唱，好似白姑頭先唱咁嘅形式。
Most of the time, it's completely about them chanting, not about the Hare Krishna mantra. It's just them trying to show off their musical abilities.
咁其實就唔係傳統嘅，大部分嘅時間都係佢哋想即係點講啊，炫耀佢哋嘅音樂造詣嘅技巧喎。
It becomes more of a disturbance then.
甚至造成騷擾添。
So the sound of the Hare Krishna mantra, this meditation, this Japa meditation, it is not something materialistic. It's not meant to be a musical performance. It's not meant to be any type of healing exercise. It's not meant to be any of these things.
咁所以我哋嘅念誦咧，咁應該係一種冥想嚟嘅。咁佢唔應該係一啲嘅音樂嘅表演啊，或者我哋練習我哋嘅聽覺啊，我哋嘅聆聽嘅能力啊咁樣，或者係一種治療嘅性質啊。係，即係呢個係唔合理。
The pure chanting is freedom from ego, freedom from, hey, well, everybody, look at me, I'm chanting so nicely. See, you can hear how I'm pronouncing the mantra very nicely, and I'm sitting in the posture very nicely, and I'm not moving, and I'm doing all these things because I'm wanting everybody to look at me and think how great of a yogi I am.
Wow.
所以我哋念誦嘅時候咧，絕對唔能夠即係有旗下啲即係下邊呢啲概念嘅，例如咧，你係為咗滿足你嘅假我啊，或者你係即係炫耀啦，你睇我坐得幾端正，我念即係嗰啲字眼我發得幾準確，或者我嘅音節就幾抑揚頓挫幾好聽咁之類，即係完全唔可以有呢啲咁嘅心水。
That humble, prayerful mood is not so easy to attain.
咁所以我哋話要求達到一種好謙卑嘅祈禱嘅心水咧，唔係容易達到嘅。
Most of the time, our chanting is very inattentive.
好多時候我哋嘅念誦咧都係唔專注嘅。
If in the course of our chanting we can get a few good Hare Krishna Ramas mantras in for the day, we've probably done pretty well.
咁如果我哋一日裏邊念誦咧，有即係幾個 mantra 係念得好專注啊、好專心啊，咁已經係好好嘅啦。
I think one. The point is, if you do get one in, that's fantastic.
就係啦，問題嘅重心就係話，如果你真係有一個曼陀係念得好專注、好投入咧，真係好好嘅。
Where Japa in his book, the Japa book, he says that we should chant one mantra at a time.
咁 Prabhu 喺佢嗰本講 Japa 嘅書裏邊咧，佢成日都強調就話，我哋每次只係專注一個曼陀嘅啫。
And you can't, it's pointless lamenting for what's already gone, and it's useless dreaming about the future, what you're going to do. You have to be conscious of your chanting right here and then. This one mantra, chant nicely. Okay, let me try the next one. How attentive can I be, and how much am I actually meditating on the meaning of the mantra?
所以咧個意思咧就係話，我哋淨係專注於我哋當下念緊嗰個曼陀。我哋過去念嗰啲曼陀有幾糟糕啊，我哋都唔好再去悲傷去感嘆嘅。或者我哋下一個 mantra 念成點樣咧，我哋亦都唔好去估量佢啦。我哋就係念我哋眼前呢個 mantra。
What form have I created in my mind when I'm chanting? Have you ever thought of that when you're chanting, and you stand back and you think, okay, well, I just chanted, and what form has been created? What have I created in my mind? It's generally something else, isn't it? It's about other things. We create all these other forms, but we didn't really create Krishna's form. We didn't really create Krishna's pastimes in our chanting.
個問題就係咧，當我哋念誦嘅時候咧，我哋嘅心意咧會創造好多嘅形體出嚟嘅。咁個問題就係你創造呢啲形體咧，有幾多係真係關於 Krishna 嘅，係有同 Krishna 有關嘅，或者 Krishna 嘅消滅時光有關嘅。
So
其實大部分時間我哋都係諗咗其他嘢嘅。
that is the daily challenge that we face.
呢個就係我哋每日要面對嘅挑戰。
So you could wake up in the morning and think, okay, today is the day that I'm going to chant properly.
所以咧，你每朝起身咧，你就會對自己講：好，今日咧，我一定要好恰當咁樣去練習。
It's today the day.
就係今日啦，今日呢一日，我要好好咁去練習。
So generally, when we try to chant, we're trying to become free of external disturbances.
咁我哋通常練誦咧，都希望即係唔好有外來嘅干擾。
If you can chant Japa with this going on, you must be a great saint.
如果你能夠喺而家出邊咁嘅嘈吵嘅狀態之下練誦到咧，你就真係一個好偉大嘅聖人㗎啦。
So this tells you don't. If somebody just dropped you off and you were just sitting here with your eyes closed and somebody said, "Where are you?" you could easily say, "I'm in Hong Kong."
Pardon, cannot catch.
If somebody dropped me off here, my eyes are covered, and somebody said, "Where are you?"
哦 ，OK。
I could say, "Okay, I'm in Hong Kong."
咁就係爸爸話：如果有人咧蒙咗我雙眼嘅，突然間喺某啲地方掟咗我喺呢個地方喺度，咁佢問我：你而家喺邊啊？我一定會話我喺香港，
This is the sound of Hong Kong.
因為呢啲聲音咁嘈吵啊、咁吵鬧咧，就係香港嘅常態嚟嘅。
Everywhere. That's what I mean. But it's really strong in Hong Kong. Because I remember even when I was living in Tui, if I was at home, I would hear it in the whole building every day, somewhere.
咁頭先斯德拉尼媽豬話，其實好多地方都係咁㗎啦，咁但係香港特別係多機會，即係咁嘈吵嘅。
So this sound, the sound is so important to have the right sound.
所以聲音咧係咁重要嘅，所以點解我哋係要一定選擇一啲適當嘅聲音？
People want to go to nature. Why?
我哋大部分人都好中意去大自然嘅地方嘅，點解？
Okay. So that's a little bit about the philosophy of Japa.
咁我頭先所講咧就係有少少關於呢個我哋念誦嘅哲學啊。
But if I ask you, what is your greatest challenge when chanting? Maybe we can have a discussion.
OK， 咁我哋不如而家咧，大家提出一下我哋念誦嘅時候最大嘅挑戰係乜嘢？我哋提出
What's the greatest challenge you
最
face?
大嘅挑戰，你哋要面對嘅係乜嘢？
Cannot concentrate.
Can you concentrate? Okay.
即係唔可以專心啦，念誦嘅時候。
But is that concentration because of external factors?
咁呢個專心係咪因為外來嘅因素
外在嘅因素，因為上咗。
？With feeling,
Huh?
with feeling.
With feeling. Okay, so we can maybe we even can concentrate, even concentrate,
Yeah.
but we don't have the feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I can hear. I know I focus, I hear. But I'm not satisfied because I find I don't have the feeling of love.
The feeling.
Yeah.
What else?
有時好多時咧都係因為 mobile phone 問題，咁咧就會走去望下啦，即係有聲音提你咧，可能有啲 message，咁我走去望下。不過而家即係人哋已經叫我咧，朝早就要
三四。
熄咗佢咧係一個即係鈴聲，唔係鈴聲啊，係轉做飛行模式，咁就 OK 啦，我覺得。
So before I was disturbed by the mobile phone, whenever there is some sound, I will take a look. But now some people told me that I can change it to the roaming.
Fight mode.
Huh?
Fight mode.
Fight mode. Then the problem is solved.
You put it on. It has a switch on the side of your phone. It's called silent.
Silent. Silent. 嚇靜音
靜音啊。
靜音係啦
Yeah.
，mute 咗。
So there are distractions, in other words.
所以我哋有好多干擾啊。
What else?
仲有咧？
譬如 chanting 嘅時候，我又要照顧屋企人啊，突然間同我譬如媽媽起身啊，或者即係好多其他嘅嘢嘅工作啊，
Some other disturbance from I have to help my family members to do this or that. They ask for me when I'm doing the chanting. So external disturbance.
Okay. External disturbances.
有時眠嘅時候即係冇品味咯，即係有時有甜味，即係有時覺得好苦。
bitter. Sometimes feel bitter, but sometimes feel taste.
Mm.
沒有
No taste most of the
嗰種
time.
好快啊嗰種感覺有時，即係仲有時係唔想眠嘅。
Sometimes I even don't want to chant.
Do we sometimes blame Krishna and say, you did this to me and therefore I'm not going to chant your name? I'm not going to chant because you did something to me.
有冇試過？因為有啲唔好嘅遭遇就怪 Krishna， 你咁對我，所以我唔想念誦咁啊？未試過。有冇試過啊？即係因為有啲事發生，你對 Krishna 不滿，所以你就唔想念誦。
對 Krishna 我對人有。
Not blaming Krishna, but blame some people, other people.
But sometimes sometimes we do blame Krishna. Like even you'll see in Krishna Lila, sometimes Radharani blames Krishna for different things, and then she won't talk. She won't say anything to him. So she'll take a monavrata, she just won't talk to him, ignore him.
We dare not. 咁對 Krishna 嚟講咧 ，Radharani 嚟講咧 ，Radharani 有時係會即係責怪 Krishna 㗎，於是咧就另歪面唔睬佢㗎。Radharani 就會嘅，係咯，係咯。
Not that level, but we may imitate sometimes.
有冇？但係我哋可以模仿㗎喎，有冇試過？
有排追。
係咯，唔敢㗎啫。
So generally, feeling comes when there's an attachment.
嗱，我哋講到感覺咧，就係話，當我哋依附嘅時候，我哋先會有感覺。
So if we have no feeling, it means we have really no attachment.
所以當我哋冇感覺嘅時候咧，即是話我哋冇依附。
If we have no attachment, we have no connection.
如果我哋冇依附咧，我哋就冇一種連接。
Like we may even, I don't know, sometimes we have some duty. We may not like to do it, but we have a duty, so we do it. And we remember, we have some attachment to doing something, even when we hate doing it, because we feel we have some duty.
所以咧，我哋就視佢好似一種職責咁樣。我哋有陣時可以依附嗰種職責嘅喎，因為我哋知道要做啊嘛，咁所以我哋就要做咯。呢種就係我哋依附嘅職責，但係所以我哋做嘅時候，我哋唔會有好大嘅感覺。
But maybe we feel no duty to Krishna, or we feel no attachment.
咁所以或者我哋覺得我哋對 Krishna 冇責任，所以我哋又冇呢個依附咯。
Because in English, we say, out of sight, out of mind. When you don't see something or somebody, then you just forget it.
咁英文有句術語就係話，即係個人唔喺度嘅時候咧，你就忘記咗佢。有冇一句特別中文？即係話即係總之個人唔喺度就冇咗一種嘅心，你就唔會記得呢個人嘅。
So that's why it's important to create some duty, some connection, some service, some practical activity.
所以點解我哋
That
要
binds us.
我哋要創造一種嘅責任，然後咧創造一種依附，然後咧就係去再創造一種嘅感覺。
So like
認係
服務
做服務好重要，係啦，
有呢個心水啦。
就有呢個心水啦。 你有冇？
Vishaka rang me and said, "Where are you? Have you forgotten?"
頭先 Vishaka 打電話俾我，問我係咪忘記咗
No,
嚟呢度？
I had an obligation, have a duty, so okay, I will turn up.
冇問題，我有咗呢個責任，我答應咗，所以我一定會出現嘅。
Yeah, something. Promise is a good thing, actually. Promises are good things.
所以呢個係個承諾咯，咁係有承諾係好嘅。
Although these days people's promises don't mean much anymore.
但係今時今日啲人有陣時承諾咗啲嘢咧，都唔會履行嘅，所以都冇意思嘅。
I had early experience when I was in business, but also I heard from other people also. When there's something very important and they have to do, and then this is always in the mind, so they cannot concentrate in the chanting. So what to do? But very important, I have to deal with that.
哦，咁我喺以前即係商業上有一個經驗就話，我聽人哋講咧就話，當我有一個好重要嘅承諾，有一樣嘢我要去做，我就個心就成日諗住呢樣嘢，所以咧我就即係念誦嘅時候我就唔專心。咁呢樣嘢我哋點樣？
I'm trying to figure out how to deal with it, how to solve the problem.
It's a bit like, you know, when you have one of those early morning flights and you set the alarm and you can't sleep because you're waiting for the alarm to go off.
咁呢個有少少類似咧。如果我聽朝要搭早機嘅話咧，我雖然已經校咗鬧鐘咧，但係我成晚都瞓得唔安寧嘅。
It's a bit like that excuse. That's why I can't chant because I was so
咁就類似
occupied
啦。
trying to wake up, you know.
咁所以就類似呢一種咁嘅情況。
係啊，我都會有咁㗎，我都會有。
So what to do?
And you wake up 10 minutes before the alarm goes, right?
係咯，好似我尋晚咁樣，一早就醒。係啊，
唔使鬧鐘響嗰啲。
係啊，成晚醒幾次。Like this morning I have to give a class, so I wake up last night many times. Woke up.
唔信任個鬧鐘，驚
唔係。
So we have to create that anxiety for Krishna. We have to somehow figure out how to make that Krishna event more important than the business meeting.
咁所以我哋要諗啲辦法咧，係讓我哋對 Krishna 有一種嘅思念啊、掛念咧，使到我哋覺得我哋啲商業嘅事情咧係冇 Krishna 咁重要嘅。
So Krishna consciousness also requires, to chant japa also requires a mood of detachment. You have to learn how to become a little detached.
From outside。
Yeah.
所以我哋念誦咧 Krishna 知覺念誦呢一環節咧，我哋就要訓練自己咧點樣對外在嘅嘢咧係唔依附。
And this is probably the most difficult thing in devotional service, to develop that mood of detachment and yet attachment to duty. Both.
所以咧呢個係最困難嘅一個環節。我哋同時咧要對外在嘅嘢唔依附，但係咧就依附 Krishna。
So therefore in the Bhagavad Gita we find Krishna says this verse, you have a right to do your work. You have a right to do your work. That means you have to do your work. But then Krishna says, never expect the fruits of your labors to be yours, the results to be yours.
所以 Krishna 喺博家梵歌咁樣講，佢話咧你有權履行你嘅職責，你甚至係需要履行你嘅職責，但係咧你冇權享受你工作嘅成果。
In other words, you have to try to do your duties in this world to the best of your abilities.
所以咧一方面咧你要盡你嘅能力將你嘅職責做得最好。
But over time, you will come to get the realization that no matter how hard you try, the result is often outside of your control.
但係經驗話俾我哋聽咧，咁耐以嚟咧，無論我哋係點樣努力去即係履行我哋嘅職責啊，或者做我哋嘅工作咧，結果咧都唔係我哋想象中咁出嚟嘅。
And sometimes results come even without us trying. Sometimes we get a good result, we didn't even try it. Still we get some good result.
但係另外一啲情況咧，就係話有時我哋可能即係隨意咁做下嘅啫，我哋冇努力嘅，但係個結果又好好嘅喎。
So how do we accept happiness and distress in these situations? How do we deal with that?
所以喺呢啲情況之下咧，我哋應該點樣處理快樂同埋悲傷？
In Bhagavad Gita there's that verse, Matra spashas kunteya, sitoshna shuka dukada, agama payona nitya, tams tikshva parata. So this matra spasha, the appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress, Krishna says they're like the coming and going of the seasons, right? A wise man is not disturbed by these things.
咁 Krishna 喺《普梵歌》都有一個詩節咧，就話我哋嘅快樂同埋悲傷咧，就好似我哋春夏秋冬咁樣咧，時來時去嘅。
How do we realize that verse?
我哋點樣去理解呢一個詩節咧？
How do we live that verse?
我哋點樣活出呢個詩節啊？
So this is the and Prabhupada talks about different classes of intelligence.
咁所以咧，Krishna 就講出唔同層次嘅智慧。
First class, learns by hearing.
第一個最高階嘅智慧就係話聽到嘅咧就已經學咗，即係憑聆聽已經係學咗嗰樣嘢㗎啦。
A second class learns by how? How does a second class person learn?
睇到
私營
Experience.
experiencing。
Yeah.
咁第二個階梯嘅智慧咧就係話我哋經歷過，我哋就學到啦。
And the third class?
第三類嘅階梯嘅智慧咧，
聽從權威，聽從權威
第三個係聽
同
咗
權威。
都仲要去做完之後失敗咗之後又重複失敗。
哦唔做啦。The third is you try and then you commit mistake, then you learn.
So that's the second class.
Second.
我都算係識
Second.
Supper.
That's experience, yeah.
Third is supper.
What's third class?
Supper.
You see, you experience, and you don't
Don't learn.
learn.
哦。
You do the same. You keep doing the
okay.
same thing.
第三類嘅智慧就係話你睇到你做呢樣嘢，但係咧你就係失敗咗嘅。
They say also the Western philosophy. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result again and again.
第四類就係錯完又錯嘅，不斷犯錯
They
嘅。
say this is insanity.
第三係咩話？
第三就係睇到，唔
而家講緊第三。
係呢個第四
而
嘅。
家第四㗎啦，第四又錯第四㗎啦。
No, three classes.
第三，錯完又錯，
錯完又錯第
繼續做。
冇得救嘅最後。
So we're trying to come at least from the third class to the second class.
咁我哋起碼咧係將自己由第三類智慧拉上第二類咯。
Because insanity means we're taking birth after birth after birth in this material world. We're not learning anything, forgetting that we're not this body, and we're doing the same mistake lifetime after lifetime.
咁第三類就係講嗰啲即係冇智慧嘅人啦，即係錯完又錯，錯完又錯，即是話我哋重複要經歷生死輪迴嘅。我哋錯完又錯，錯完又錯。
Sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm very smart."
有啲人話我好聰明嘅喎。
So why are you in this material world if you're so smart?
不過我哋只要我哋一日喺呢個物質世界咧，我哋就唔會係好聰明嘅人嘅啫。
即係要係聰明，點解會喺呢個物質世界？
就係啦，即係類似咯，係啦。
You're smart if you make this lifetime your last life.
咁如果你真係聰明咧，你就讓今生咧係成為你最後嘅一生。
And this should be the one determining factor, because sometimes people say, "So what can I do?" Because I'm stuck here and I make so many mistakes and I'm trying, but it's just, what can I do?
咁有啲人就問我有咩可以做咧？我即係困咗喺呢度，即係完全揾唔到出路。
So you make that determined thing. Even when I walked in the door at the temple, I read the philosophy and I thought, okay, no matter what it takes, this is going to be my last life. I don't care. I mean, I'm going to get through this life, but I'm going to make sure this is it. I'm not going to come back. I'm not
我
going
哋
to
就
come
係
back.
要有
This
呢
is
個好大嘅決心咯，好大嘅決心咧就係話我哋要下定決心， 呢次係我最後嘅一生㗎啦，我點都唔會再翻嚟㗎啦。所以咧，無論我需要付出幾多咧，我都會去做嘅。
This is got to be like the number one thing that's got to be in your mind.
所以咧，依樣咧要成為你心目中咧係頭號重要嘅事情。
死都唔翻嚟。
係啦。
And if you do that, then it's a bit like, when you learn to ride the bicycle and you fall off, but you get up again, you keep going.
就好似你學踩單車一樣，你一定要學到踩單車咧，你就跌倒又再起身，又再揸過，又跌倒又起身，直到你真係學到踩單車為止。
So
我亦都唔敢再踩單車。
哦，咁你弊。
When I fell, I never dared to ride a bicycle.
你快啲再學過，你快啲
But this is
重
the
新學。
determination that we have to have.
嗱呢個就係我哋嘅決心啦。
You have that determination, it doesn't matter. You have taste, you have no taste, you have attachment, you have no attachment. Everything goes wrong, doesn't matter.
所以咧，如果你有依個決心嘅話咧，無論你係有品味冇品味，你係有感覺抑或冇感覺，專心唔專心唔緊要，你有決心就得啦。
You've got to have this point where you say, I don't care what happens, I'm not coming back. This is my determinant. I don't care what happens. Anything happens, because in our life, many things will happen. Guaranteed.
嗱，你個決心就係應該咁，無論發生任何事，因為乜事都可以發生嘅呢個世界，呢個物質世界。你有一個決心就係無論發生任何事，我都唔翻嚟㗎啦，我唔再翻嚟㗎啦。
But
個決
that
心
one
就係
thing
咁
that
樣
should be very strong in your heart, I'm not coming back, I'm not coming back.
咁
I'm
所
not
以
going to do this again.
Mantra.
Yeah, that's my mantra. I'm not coming back here. That's it. I don't care what happens. I don't care if I'm not remembering Krishna at the time of death. I'm not coming back here.
I don't care.
I don't care. I refuse. I refuse to take my birth again. I don't care. Yamadutas, I'm not coming with you. I'm not.
所以你個決心咧就話，總之我咧唔再翻嚟㗎啦，我一定唔再翻嚟嘅。發生咩事都好，我唔做到依樣又好，唔做到嗰樣又好，總之唔理，我一定唔翻嚟㗎啦。
當呢個係一個 mantra。
咁我哋當依係個曼陀，我哋不斷喺個腦海度咁樣運轉呢個曼陀。
So, if you have that, at least that works for me. We'll see.
咁如果你有呢個咁大嘅決心咧，起碼我自己係咁睇
I'm not
你。
giving myself that option.
我唔再俾第二個選擇自己嘅啦，呢個係我唯一嘅選擇，唯一嘅
So
決
if
定。
you do that, then you'll keep trying. You'll keep praying to Krishna. I can't remember you, but I'm going to keep trying.
所以如果你有呢個決心咧，你就會不斷咁去嘗試。我記唔起 Krishna， 我繼續去學習記住 Krishna。我冇品味，我繼續去練習我嘅品味。
So that's why Bhagavad Gita really is a book about duty. It's about duty. Everything, the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, all about Krishna preaching to Arjuna, do your duty.
咁博家梵歌其實係一本咧係有關職責嘅書嚟嘅，由第1章至第6章咧，Krishna 咧都一路同阿 Arjuna 講你嘅職責。
And I found this, the only thing that I found I kind of appreciated out of India, and I don't appreciate much out of India because I don't like the place, but the one thing that I appreciated was the fact that you can find people who have a strong sense of duty and they will continue to do what they're doing their whole life.
咁我唯一欣賞印度人咧，雖然我唔係咁中意嗰個地方啊，就係佢哋有一個好強烈嘅責任感啊！佢哋要做一啲嘢咧，佢就真係咧係竭盡所能咧去履行佢哋嘅職責㗎。
I've seen other cultures, but that sense of duty seems to be the strongest in Indian people that I've seen so far. I don't know, maybe Chinese people also have the same, I don't know. But it's very apparent in India, you can see like a simple job, like say a chowkidar, like the guard. And you will see him like 10 years, 20 years, he's still doing his job, you know, still, that's his duty, and he sees that as his duty in his life to do this.
咁我去過好多國家啦，咁我見到嘅咧就係話，我覺得印度人咧就係佢嘅責任感咧就係最強嘅。咁我唔知其他國家點樣，所以就算你見到一個譬如話護衛員啦，佢可以即係10年20年咧都係好即係忠心咁樣去進行，即係做呢一種工作嘅。
So generally, that type of duty also goes together with determination. You have to be determined to do your duty.
咁所以呢種責任心咧，其實同佢嘅決心好有關係嘅。你一定要有好強烈嘅決心咧，你先能夠好真實咁樣去履行你嘅職責。
And determination is the result of austerity.
咁而我哋嘅決心咧，就係我哋嘅苦行嘅結果。
Because austerity means you're determined to do something that's difficult, so you develop a determination.
因為苦行咧就係話你有決心去做一啲咧係好困難嘅事。
So our determination is that, as you said before, we make a promise.
咁因為我哋有呢個決心，喺我哋落呢個決心之前咧，我哋係一定有個承諾喺度。
So that's one benefit of, for example, initiation. We make a solemn vow, we make a promise.
咁所以咧就係喺我哋啟迪嘅時候咧，我哋就係做咗一個好嚴肅嘅呢個誓言啊。
We make some promises in front of our teacher, in front of the other devotees, in front of the fire, in front of the deities. And we make some promises, and it's difficult, but we keep to it. We stick to it.
咁我哋喺不同嘅人面前啦，喺靈性導師面前啦，喺奉獻者面前啦，喺神像面前啦，喺祭祀之火面前啦，我哋就係下咗呢個諾言。我哋係好難嘅，但係我哋都會堅持去做到呢個誓言嘅。
It's an austerity. Many times it's an austerity to do these things. We think, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, Okay, I'll just do it.
咁好多時我哋執行呢啲誓言嘅時候咧，我哋係好大掙扎嘅。好多時候我哋都想即係縮沙啊咁樣嘅，但係咧因為呢個係我哋嘅諾言啦，我哋就點都捱過去，一定去做嗰樣嘢。
So a good example of that is like a codicy. One day we said, okay, today I'm not going to eat these things.
咁最好一個例子咧就係而家嘅事。
Just one day, it's okay.
咁而家嘅時我哋好多嘢唔食得噶嘛，係咪？咁你好大誘惑，但係你都諗一日啫，我今日點都做到佢。
Right? We take that. We think it's just today. It's just one day. What's the big deal?
係啊，所以你諗一日啫，點都做咗佢啦 ，no big deal。
So we wake up every morning. We think, okay, today, I'm going to stick to my promises. I'm going to chant. I'm going to follow principles. Just today.
咁所以咧，你每日起身都咁同自己講，嘿，就係今日啫，我就要履行我所有嘅誓言，就係今日啫。
And next day, same thing. Okay, it's just today.
咁第二日你又照樣同自己咁講，就係今日啫，我努力決心履
I
行
can do
曬
it.
所有
I
誓
did it
言。
yesterday,
我琴日做咗啦，
and I did it the day before.
咁前日又做到啊。
I can do it today. I mean, I know I can do it because I did it yesterday.
咁今日應該冇問題啦，因為我琴日都做到咯，
I didn't die,
我都冇死到。
right? I didn't die because I didn't have shrimp.
我冇死到，雖然我冇蝦食啫，
I'm still alive.
我仲生勾勾。
I didn't have a cigarette today because yesterday I didn't have one, and it's okay. I'm alive today.
我琴日都冇食煙啦，所以我今日食煙都會照樣
I
即係
chanted
存在
16
嘅。
rounds yesterday, so I can chant 16 rounds today.
我琴日練咗16圈啦，所以我今日一定都練到16圈嘅。
So duty, austerity, determination, and of course, patience and tolerance.
咁就係需要我哋嘅責任感啦，我哋嘅決心啦，我哋嘅容忍啦，我哋嘅包容啦，我哋嘅苦行啦，所有。
These these generally just come as you get older,
嗯
because you realize you can't depend on your bodily strength, your you know, you just kind of, life just kind of fades away from you gradually.
咁所有呢啲品質咧，當你年紀越嚟越大嘅時候咧，呢啲品質就好容易咧就可以即係掌握到㗎啦。因為你發覺自己個體力已經漸漸衰退啊，你冇嘢可以依靠㗎啦。
You got no choice, you know, you just kind of, material nature just bends you, you know, just squeezes you.
咁你冇乜選擇㗎啦，因為物質自然咧就喺度即係搓圓撳扁啦，對你喺度即係揸你啲汁啊咁樣。
What was your name? Can't remember things, people. You know, just.
到你老嘅時候，人哋問你咩名，你都唔記得。
And all you can do is, hey Krishna, hey Govinda. Please don't forget me.
咁到時咧，你只能夠有氣力話係 Krishna， 唔好忘記我 Krishna。
So we you know we learn that everything that we have depended on is what we call fallible soldiers, not infallible. You know, we depend on many things that we think will protect us, but then we realize there's nothing that can protect us in this material world.
所以到你老年咧，你發覺咧，你以前諗住有一批大軍你可以依靠嘅，原來佢哋都即係會冧嘅，佢哋都，所以你到嗰陣時你就發覺你完全冇嘢可以依靠嘅。
So then our feelings of prayer may become stronger.
所以我哋祈禱嘅時候咧，我哋有感覺咧，我哋感覺會越嚟越強烈嘅。
So it's better to not wait till we get to that stage. It's better right from the beginning of life to develop those feelings of dependency on Krishna.
所以最好唔好等到嗰陣時，你連自己個名都唔識講嘅時候，先至去培養你對 Krishna 嘅感覺。你最好趁早咧就培養對 Krishna 嘅感覺。
Can save us a lot of trouble.
我哋咁樣咧，我哋就可以少好多麻煩嘅。
You know, most people in this world, they develop some idea of who they are, some position, some power.
咁好多地方啲人咧，佢哋即係以自己嘅身份啊，呢啲嘅富裕啊，或者能力咧嚟去決定自己係邊一個。
We want some recognition.
佢哋希望得到認同。
I am so and so.
即係講出嚟，你係某某咁樣就好有地位啊咁樣。
I am something special.
我係好特別嘅人物嚟嘅。
But then material nature can just take everything away, just like that.
咁但係物質自然咧，好快咧就會將你所有嗰啲外在嘅即係名啊，嗰啲名譽咧就攞走晒嘅。
Then what do we do?
咁到時我哋有咩好做咧？
What do you do when Krishna takes everything away from you?
當 Krishna 攞走晒你啲嘢
you
嘅時
blame
候，
Krishna first, you blame everybody else for losing everything.
你就點咧？你係咪責怪 Krishna， 責怪每一個人咧？
And you try to get everything back again.
咁你仲想咧係攞翻你失去嘅嘢喎？
But life is not the same as when you were 20, you know.
但係咧20年之後嘅你咧已經係唔同晒㗎啦，光景。
And you recognize, well, what can I do?
到時咧你就諗下，亦都喺度遮
So you
下我
have
能
to
夠做到
learn
啲
how
咩咧？
to be detached,
所以我哋要學習唔依附啦。
how to be happy from within, not from external sources.
點樣咧係內在得到滿足，而唔係要外在嘅嘢令你得到滿足。
And still be happy.
你從內在咧係快樂出嚟嘅。
So this is like you know, Krishna will test you in many different ways and see. You may say you don't want to take birth again. You may say that. Well, let's see. Let's see if I take everything from you. How do you feel then?
咁 Krishna 會俾好多考驗你嘅。咁 Krishna 就話：睇下你點先，我攞走晒你啲嘢，睇下你有咩感覺先。
Will you chant with feeling or not?
咁你仲唔
Will
仲
you chant with a,
會唔
you
會
know,
好有感？
cry out for Krishna?
你仲會唔會好有感情咁 念誦咧？或者你會唔會念誦嘅時候呼喊 Krishna 咧？
Or will you say, "Oh, please, my material energy, oh goddess Durga, please help me"?
咁
What
你
will
到
you
時
say?
仲會唔會祈求 Durga 祈求物質女神去幫你咧？你會點講咧？到時
It's like there's this rich Australian guy who owns so many newspapers around the world and television. Rupert Murdoch.
Murdoch
Yeah.
哦，OK。咁而家呢個人物咧就係澳洲最有錢嘅人啊，就係傳媒界啊，就係叫梅鐸。
I think he's on the number 5 wife or something like that. Maybe number 5 or number 6.
佢有5、6個妻子
92 years old or something.
，2 years old。
92.
哦，梅鐸已經92歲㗎啦，但係佢而家仲有第6任妻子啊。
Still trying to. Still hasn't learned his lesson.
仍然都未就得到教訓，未
Still
有
producing children.
哇，仲生緊仔，
What a guy!
即係呢個係一個不同凡響嘅人物啦。
This is somebody completely crazy.
即係接近瘋狂嘅人物啦。
So the
92 歲
material
仲
energy
生緊
has
仔
a way that if you don't want to surrender, okay, next life again. Next life, like Prophet says, you can be the cockroach in the building, you know.
咁譬如呢啲咁嘅人咧，即係佢都係等住咧下一生再嚟玩過嘅，或者下一生佢做曱甴都唔定。
Maybe somebody will give you some prasadam.
或者有人好彩嘅話，俾啲 prasadam 嗰隻曱甴食啦。
A rat in our temple.
Yeah.
We have a rat in the temple.
Yeah, I'm sure.
例如可以做廟堂嘅一隻曱甴，
Devotees are very merciful.
因為廟堂好仁慈嘅。
Sometimes, I think we had one on our farm. We had one dog.
咁我哋嘅農場有隻狗嘅。
He would come every morning from Mangalati, look through the window.
哇！每朝掹嘅拉枝咧，佢會
There's a
嚟
window in the temple.
嚟我哋呢
so
度咧
outside,，
然後喺窗口嗰度裝入嚟喎。
devotees would paint tilak on him.
哇！咁嗰啲奉獻者咧就同佢畫 T 勒喎。
Put a garland on him.
哇！然後同佢戴花環喎。
He would run around all day with a garland on him.
咁佢成日咧就攬住個花環周圍走，幾好玩。
And when he died, the whole community came. It was amazing.
哇！當呢隻狗死嘅時候咧，成個社區啲人都嚟喎。
Last life, for sure.
哦，咁佢肯定咧，佢嗰一生係最後一生。So he can directly go to
Yeah,
spiritual world。
for sure.
咁肯定佢下一生可以翻去靈性世界。
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you find that Shivananda Sain, one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, he would every year plan the pilgrimage of the devotees from Navadvip to go to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Chaitanya.
咁喺主想坦譯嘅消離時光裏邊咧，就有一個消離時光就係講
Shivananda Sain.
Shivananda Saint 咧，佢就每年都
So he was like the
有一個
tour
parikrama 嘅，搞一個 parikrama 就由 Jagannath Puri to
So one year he had a dog. Somehow he had a dog and he would take the dog was travelling.
咁有一年咧，佢喺呢個 parikrama 裏邊咧帶埋一隻狗
No, not
同佢一齊
pilgrimage. They would travel from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri.
哦，喺 Navadvip 去 Jagannath Puri，咁嗰一年咧，佢哋就由呢度去啦，佢就帶埋隻狗去嘅嗰一年。
So many times the boatmen they didn't want to take a dog on the boat.
咁好多時咧，嗰啲
There was
船
no
夫，
bridges. People have to cross the rivers with a boat and then the
因為
devotees.
佢哋要過一條河嘅，咁船夫咧就唔想佢隻狗上隻船度嘅。
So Shivananda Sain he would pay extra money for the boatman to take the dog.
咁 Shivananda Saint 咧就情願佢俾多倍嘅錢俾個船夫咧，俾佢隻狗上船。
So when just before they got to Jagannath Puri, somehow the dog vanished, disappeared.
哦，咁不知怎地咧，嗰隻船未到 Jagannath Puri 嘅時候咧，就唔見咗呢隻狗喎，消失咗喎。
And Shivananda saying he was all disturbed. Where's the dog? Where's the dog?
咁 Shivananda Singh 就好受騷擾啊！佢就周圍揾只狗，我只狗去邊啊咁。
So when the devotees arrived in Jagannath Puri, then they saw Lord Chaitanya.
咁當佢哋啲奉獻者去到 Jagannath Puri 咧，見到主 Chaitanya 嘅時候，
And then nearby there was a dog. This was a dog, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeding him the banana peels. And the dog, and he was going, Chait Hare Krishna, and the dog was eating the banana peel given by Lord Chaitanya.
咁佢發現咧，主彩坦爺咧有一隻狗喎，咁嗰隻狗咧，主彩坦爺咧就餵佢食香蕉皮啊！喺餵佢嘅時候咧，就叫佢念個曼陀，念 Hare Krishna。
So then everybody could see that dog. Later he disappeared, and then everybody knew this dog went back home, back to Kali, took prasad, fed to him by Lord Chaitanya.
所以個個人咧都好確定咧，呢隻狗咧好快就會翻去即係 Krishna 嗰度去 back to Godhead。
So devotees, yeah, they're very merciful.
所以咧嗰度啲奉獻者咧係好仁慈嘅。
So this is all a result of chanting Hare Krishna and having the right attitude and the right prayer. That in that mood, then when a devotee has that, then he's giving that attachment that he has to Krishna also to others.
咁所以咧，我哋念個Maha Mantra 嘅時候咧，我哋好重要咧就係有一個正確嘅心水，正確嘅仲有咩心水啦，然後個感情啦，然後咧我哋就可以咧係同 Krishna 連接啦，然後翻上 Krishna 嗰度。
But we're not going to get there unless we ourselves do a little bit of work. We have to do some work. We have to do some service. And when we are chanting, we should create the good environment, the good space for ourselves.
所以我哋自己一定要做啲嘢嘅，即係唔係話好容易得到嘅。我哋要創造一個好嘅環境咧嚟去念誦。
So that as much as possible, whatever distractions are there, we clear them from our calendar, so to speak. If our family members want something, well then get up earlier so that you're not in their orbit when just you have to do a little bit of austerity, if you want to chant nicely. Then you have to also work a little bit at it. It's not going to just happen automatically. You're trying for something very valuable, at least put some energy into it,
所以我哋一定要設計一個好嘅空間、一個好嘅時間、一個好嘅環境咧，去念誦，讓我哋咧係唔受到任何外來嘅騷擾。例如，如果我哋有啲家人要有啲要求啊，我哋就早啲起身咯，早啲起身滿足咗家人嘅要求嘅時候咧，先至去念誦。咁我哋要得到一啲好嘅嘢咧，我哋一定要付出嘅，唔會話自動咁嚟嘅。
There's often the case like when somebody is studying at university, they're students and they have to finish their papers or they're studying for an exam. They often stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Why? Because A, they have to get it finished, but B, because it's quiet and it's peaceful and they can get their work done. So they can do it for some stupid mundane reason, but we don't want to put in that energy for Krishna for some spiritual reason. What's wrong with us?
咁就算嗰啲大學生咧，佢哋要考試啊，要咩咧，佢哋都2、3點或者讀到2、3點啊，或者好早起身啊，去完成佢哋嘅論文啊、考試啊啲題目之類㗎。咁為咗一啲微不足道嘅物質嘅咩慾望，即係啲人都能夠即係付出一啲嘅代價。咁何況你要去做一啲靈修，你要得到 Krishna 嘅話，咁點解你唔可以做一啲咁即係苦行啊？即係做一啲艱難嘅事情啊，咁我哋有咩問題咧
So we complain that, Krishna, I'm not getting any feeling from you.
咁你可以祈禱嘅時候話Krishna 我對你冇乜感覺啊。
But how much energy are you putting into Krishna?
咁你要諗下，你對 Krishna 咧付出咗幾多嘅能力咧
It's like even in the mundane world, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. If you put no energy into the relationship, eventually it may just fade and die.
咁所以就算喺物質世界咧，我哋夫婦嘅關係啊，或者同朋友嘅關係咧，其實我哋都付出好多嘅努力嘅，但係好多時呢啲關係都可能係會即係失敗嘅。
So why should it be any better with Krishna? Why should you be able to just ignore Krishna and expect some Krishna to give you some feelings.
咁所以你有咩權咧？就你又唔即係唔理 Krishna 啦，而又希望咧能夠得到 Krishna 嘅東西。
Maybe it's because you don't believe Krishna is real, so you don't investigate. You think, nah, it's not real.
其實大部分嘅原因咧，其實因為我哋唔係好信 Krishna， 你話唔真實嘅，假嘅。
So these are, some realities that we have to think about.
咁呢啲就係
we can talk a lot about, and there's so many people that give, Japa seminars, techniques of chanting Hare Krishna. But if you don't believe Krishna is real, what's the use?
所以頭先就係講嘅問題就係我哋唔相信 Krishna 係真嘅。咁如果你唔相信 Krishna 係真嘅，你參加幾多個念誦嘅課程啊，幾多個念誦嘅研討會啊，嗰啲都冇用嘅，能夠幫到你乜嘢？
So japa is not just a mechanical exercise, like, free your mind from anxiety. It's much more than that. It's actually a meditation and creation of the form, and creates the pastimes that become visualized. This is why Vaikuntha consciousness means from that sound, all of Krishna's pastimes are manifested and you're absorbed in those pastimes. That's the perfection of that chanting.
咁所以念誦就唔係一啲機械性嘅活動嚟嘅，唔係一啲嘅而係咧我哋要即係創造到一啲形象出嚟，我哋係去進入咗，譬如話 Krishna 嘅逍遙時光啊，我哋進入到 Krishna 嘅逍遙時光啊。
So there's that verse, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Kirtaniya Sada Hari means the constant chanting, that constant meditation. So that constant meditation, that constant sound will keep the image, will keep the form alive. If you don't vibrate the sound, the image is not kept alive. It disappears from your vision.
咁喺八分規第3節嗰度咧，最後嗰句咧就係話我哋要不停咁樣去念誦，24小時念誦嘅。咁呢個念誦咧就話我哋要創造一個形象出嚟，創造一個形象，讓我哋咧呢個形象係活生生咁樣喺個腦海度，讓我哋去冥想嘅。
There's a story of one lady, she's a musician, and she made that experiment with create sound, make a form. So she was playing some musical instrument, and a flower came from the sound of her vibration. And then she was, wow, But then it disappeared. She couldn't maintain that. So she kept on practicing that song. And it was only when she hit the right melody, the right sound, then it came back. So it's the same with chanting. When you hit the right frequency, the right vibration with Krishna, Krishna's right there.
所以有一個音樂家咧做過一個實驗咧，有一次佢就即係玩緊音樂啦，咁一路即係唔知笛定咩啦，咁玩下嘅時候咧，佢創造咗一朵花出嚟，佢見到有一朵花，咁佢好開心啦。但係冇幾耐呢朵花就消失啦，咁佢又再繼續去即係繼續練習。當你係掌握到嗰個聲音啊，嗰朵花先出現嘅，同埋嗰啲心水啊咁樣，即係有好多嘢嘅配合咧，嗰朵花先會出現嘅。所以我哋念誦 Japa 一樣喎，即係我哋係要有正確嘅心水，或者我哋念嘅時候嗰個音震要正確，所以正確嘅時候咧 ，Krishna 就會展示㗎啦。
So that's why when we go to the temple and we have darshan of the deity, Krishna's form is right there, even without, so that's why we relish that, because the form of Krishna is right there. We can actually see it when we go. We don't want to go to India, we would just want to go to the temple. We want to see Krishna Balaram, Radha Shyama Radha Madhava. Krishna is right there, it's manifested right there in front of our eyes. You see, and all you have to do is just do some service and chant, and then you can see Krishna all the time. And then when we go away, then we're thinking, so we keep that memory with us, and we keep the memory alive through our chanting. It's an amazing process. So sometimes people say, oh, I can't see Krishna. Well, okay, if you can't see Krishna, you can see the deity, do some service, and then your attachment will grow strong. That image will stay strong with you.
所以我哋嚟廟見神像啦，或者去印度咁見神像，我哋係最珍惜見神像嗰個活動嘅，因為神像咧就係一個活生生，即係點講喺我哋眼前展示嘅形象啊嘛，我哋自己未必創造到呢個形象喺我哋腦海度，咁我哋去見神像咧就有呢一個嘅效果，我哋將呢個形象咧係喺我哋嘅腦海度咧係深深咁樣咧係記憶住佢，當我哋離開嘅時候咧，我哋都仍然咧係冥想住呢個形象，所以就係呢一個嘅程序咯。
So don't just take a photo of Krishna with your mobile phone. Take a photo with your heart.
咁所以當我哋同神像影相嘅時候咧，就唔係淨係用個手機嚟影咗個相，而係用我哋嘅心靈咧去影咗 Krishna 嘅形象。
First time I went to Govardhan Parikrama with one sannyasi, he said, "Okay, this spot, take a photo with your heart. Remember this."
所以我第一次去
And I can still remember it.
我哋高芬丹 Parikrama 嘅時候咧，嗰個托貝僧叫我，佢話你而家咧喺呢個位置，用你嘅心靈咧去影一幅相。咁真係咧嗰個形象咧，而家仲留喺我心裏邊。
If I go to Mayapur, I look at Radha Madhava, I can say, yes, I remember, I helped walk you from your old temple and onto that altar, and we put you up on that altar, and I remember that day we put you up there with Radharani, and I go there and I go, okay, Krishna, I remember, you were up there.
咁我喺馬來普嘅時候咧，我就記得 Radha Madhava 嗰個神像，咁我係有份幫手咧，係即係將個神像咧係放上去嘅，所以咧佢就好記得呢一個嘅經歷啦。咁所以咧佢同 Krishna 講：嗱，你而家喺度啊，即係我放你上去㗎咁樣。所以嗰個形象係好深刻咯。
Yes, there he is. I remember.
我記得啊，我記得我幫手放你上去㗎。
So you develop some attachment, you develop some connection.
咁透過呢啲嘅活動或者行動咧，我哋就會培養到我哋嘅依附咯，我哋對神像嘅依附。
Just like in the material world, the mother will remember the birth of her child. She'll look at the child and go, remember where you came from? It came from me, I remember that day.
所以個媽媽咧，當佢即係 B B 出世嗰一日咧，佢就最記得嗰個 B B 嗰個形象，所以佢就同個 B B 講：你記住嗰一日啊，你係由我而嚟㗎。
So this is called the samskara. Samskara means something which is stuck in your mind.
所以我哋就稱呢啲做 samskara， 就係我哋個印象啊，我哋嘅印記，即係黐咗喺我哋個腦度咧，好難抹走。
So that's why when we have some event, it's always we put so much effort into it, and some maybe the lady's making all the garlands and the decorations, and the pujari's doing the abhishek, and he remembers I made this and that, and we did this and that. So it stays strongly within their mind. It's like a samskara, it's a connection. So we should work on those sort of things. We should work on or take advantage of festivals and these events to make that very strong connection to Krishna.
所以喺過節嘅時候咧，我哋就要利用呢啲機會啊，做服務啦。然後咧做服務，我哋過節好多服務㗎，做花環啊，或者係同神像沐浴啊，或者唱頌啊，好多呢啲服務。咁呢啲服務咧，透過我哋嘅參與咧，我哋嘅印象就會好深刻嘅，我哋記憶特別係鮮明嘅。所以我哋就要利用過節嚟去做多啲服務，參與多啲咧，去幫助我哋去記憶。
So, do we have any feeling? Do we have any attachment to Krishna? Well, if you do some intense devotional service, you will develop at least a memory.
所以如果你係對 Krishna 唔係好大感覺啊，或者你係冇咁依附啊，咁你嘗試做一啲係好強烈嘅服務，咁咧呢啲服務咧就會幫助你咧係更加咧能夠深刻咁樣咧係記住 Krishna。
So Do's devotional service create memories.
咁我哋做奉嘅服務咧係可以幫助到我哋去記憶嘅，我哋嘅
And from those memories, maybe some feelings will come, some attachment will come.
咁透過我哋對 Krishna 對服務呢一種嘅記憶咧，我哋就會培養到我哋嘅對 Krishna 嘅感覺啦，對 Krishna 嘅依附。Yes。
Anything else?
有冇其他問題啊？
Maybe you have some memories you want to share?
有冇一啲回憶你係想分享嘅同我哋？
有時咧，個身體唔舒服，窗彎嗰陣時咧，好難唱。
So sometimes when I feel sick, it's very difficult to chant.
But you chant or you don't?
你有冇念？
有
照念。
啊，但係唔好質素咯。
Yeah, I keep chanting, but the quality is not good.
But you keep chanting.
你有繼續。
That's the main thing.
咁呢個就係我哋需要做嘅，繼續念，念得唔好都念。
That's your vow, your determination, your strength.
所以咧，呢個就係你嘅誓言啦，你嘅決心啦，同埋你嘅力量就喺度。
Krishna will appreciate. Oh, even sick, even difficult times, you remember me. Okay.
咁 Krishna 會讚賞
The
你。
real friends are when the difficulty comes.
Yeah. 咁真正嘅朋友就係喺你困難嗰陣出現嘅，咁 Krishna 會欣賞你。
So Krishna will remember.
Krishna 會記得你嘅。
最近我開始幫神就細神像穿花啦，同埋丹尼大神穿花啦。咁我以前冇咁多感覺，即係望啲花都好似都欣賞下話好靚嘅穿啦。咁但係而家個感覺好好，即係好感恩 Krishna 俾我穿啲花可以戴喺佢嘅身上啦，同埋可以建立到個關係啦，即係從啲花入邊，所以即係呢個服務係幫到我去同 Krishna 建立個關係。
So now I'm making garlands for the deities. So before when I look at the garlands, I just say, well, beautiful, but the feeling is not very strong. But now I'm the one to make, then I can develop a relationship with Krishna. I'm very grateful that I can do this service.
I'll tell you a story.
Okay, 講個故事。
So when I was a young brahmachari, we didn't have any money in the temple, in Sydney Temple. So part of our service was that you go out all day, you do sankirtan, sell books, and then because we had a rule that you're not allowed to come back until Shardam time. So you had to, 9 o'clock you have to go out, don't come home till 5:45 in the evening,
Wow.
because Shardam's at 6, So you just come home, you have a shower, So you're not allowed to come home. You have to stay out, right?
咁就講翻我哋做 brahmachari 嘅時候喺澳洲。
No lunch.
No, OK。咁嗰陣時咧，我哋冇錢噶嘛，我哋 brahmachari 啊。咁我哋每日咧9點就要出去噶啦。咁個命令咧就係話，你哋未到夜晚食飯嘅時候都唔好翻嚟，總之就要喺出邊派書。係咪啊？
Yeah. So, but we have no money. So part of the service was also you have to bring back flowers for the deities, for the garlands, and make the garlands at night. So you have to get some flowers somewhere.
咁我哋 brahmachari 冇錢㗎，咁但係因為個命令咧就係我哋翻嚟嘅時候咧，一定要帶啲花翻嚟，然後為神像穿花環，咁樣先至可以食飯。
So as you're driving back to the temple, you're always looking. Okay, flowers. Where can I get some flowers?
當我哋夜晚翻去揸車翻去回程嘅時候咧，我哋就周圍望啦，邊度有花咧，我哋要揾啲花翻去。
So usually around, between 5 and 5:30, these bald-headed guys would be parking their car and running into gardens and grabbing flowers and the street, growing somewhere, collecting flowers, So we've got a bit of a reputation, the Hare Krishnas, every night they're getting flowers somewhere,
Oh, OK。 咁所以咧，每日5點到5點半咧，咁我哋就揸車回程啦。然後咧，我哋就會泊喺某一啲地方，然後咧就周圍去人啲花園咧就攞啲花。咁我哋 Hare Krishna 咧已經有咗呢個聲譽㗎啦，即係話俾人偷嗰啲花。
So you just have, you get back, you have a shower, you have prasadam, 6:30. So we only had Gora Arti at 7. So from 6:30 to 7, you're going to make the garlands for the next day. Everybody, all the brahmacharis, they make the garlands.
咁所以我哋翻到
half an hour make garlands for tomorrow morning.
OK，咁所以我哋翻到去嘅時候咧就沖涼啦，然後就食 prasadam 啦，然後6點到6點半咧，我哋就快快脆脆咧趕住做啲花環，係俾第二日神像戴嘅。
So next morning when you see Krishna, I got those flowers there, and I got those. You're looking at Krishna, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I got those flowers. I stole them from that place, and I got these flowers.
咁你當到第二日你見到神像嘅時候咧，你望住啲花環咧，你個心就喺度諗啊，嗰啲花我摘嘅，喺邊度偷翻嚟嘅？呢啲又係邊個偷翻嚟嘅？
And when Rath Yatra would happen, we had a big Rath Yatra cart. Then we would go to the botanical gardens at night time.
哇！
We would steal every flower. All the roses, everything gone.
咁當每年嘅 Rath Yatra 即係進行嘅時候咧，之前咧我哋就夜晚黑深夜咧就去到啲植物公園啊，就偷晒所有啲花，即係一朵都不留啊！所有咧就偷翻去咧就做花環。
Sometimes we would even go to the nurseries, where they're growing the flowers. Cut all the flowers off at night.
咁我哋有陣時咧仲會去嗰啲苗圃添啊，去苗圃咧係即係剪晒啲花走嘅。
Anyway, we don't do those things anymore. We just had no money.
冇辦法，因為我哋冇錢。如果我哋有錢，唔會咁做。
But anyway, my point was, when you would see Krishna with garlands, you have some connection. You see Krishna, you don't realize. It took a lot of effort to get those flowers. You better appreciate those flowers that you've got there today.
所以我個重點想講嘅咧就係話，當我哋望到啲花環咧，我哋就諗到我哋係用咩方法去得到嗰啲花咧，所以你嘅印象咧，你嘅回憶係更加深刻嘅。
Sometimes no flowers, so you make out of leaves. You make the leaf garland.
所以有陣時揾唔到花咧，我哋就用啲葉嚟做個花環咯，就葉環。
You get the leaves like from a mango tree or something like that.
我哋攞啲芒果葉啊嗰啲嚟做咯。
So yeah, how to develop some attachment for Krishna.
所以呢啲都係方法咧，我哋點樣去培
I'm not
養
saying
對
that you should go
Krishna
out and
嘅
steal flowers.
嘅依附啊，咁唔係教你哋去偷花。
Anything else?
係咯。
我就想分享下，即係有時咧，即係我喺商場翻工嘅時候咧，我一見到嗰啲豬魚啊，即係成粒嗰啲人咧，我就諗起。
Vamana Deva 係咪啊？
我就諗起蛙文啊，
係啊係啊。
然之後好笑。
你成日都見到豬魚嘅咩？
係啊，唔係經常即係，
哦。
即係前兩日有見到一 pair 喎，一男一女喎，我見到之後，哇，蛙文啊你！
She said when she saw some dwarf, small people, then at once Vamana Dev's image arose from her mind. Yeah.
Anyway, so Krishna gives you an opportunity to remember. So Krishna says many things how you can remember him.
咁其實就係 Krishna 安排俾好多嘢你哋去記憶佢嘅，等你見到咯，等你見到啲
Whatever it takes,
係咯，乜嘢都係，任何嘢都係。係咯。
見到水果啊。
So whatever we see beautiful flowers, we think of Krishna. How can Krishna be so creative? So many different types of flowers, and the colors are always very matching. 即係係啦，見到啲花草樹木都諗起 Krishna。啲花好多好靚，好特別嘅有啲花，好多形態嘅。
The other way you remember Krishna is also if you read about him. If you don't read about Krishna, you don't know about Krishna. So it's very important that you also read. Otherwise, you don't know what you're seeing.
另外一樣嘢就係我哋要讀有關 Krishna。
So that's why
我
we
哋
always.
先有得嘢去諗佢。
So that's why we emphasize, reading Shastra, reading scriptures, so that you get you get real factual knowledge, not just some speculation within the mind.
所以我哋咁強調要讀經典啊，讀逍遙時光啊，就係我哋有一啲實質嘅嘢，我哋可以即係冥想嘅，唔係一啲小説，
Because
係
there are
一
many
啲真實嘅嘢。
there are many yoga paths, there are many religious paths. People just talk. They just talk, but there's no proof for anything that they say. It's just they're good speakers. Right? There's lots of bogus people who are good speakers. You listen to it and you go, oh yeah, that sounds really great. But the talk actually has no substance because there's no factual proof behind it. But our discussions of Krishna are centered on scriptural references on pastimes of Krishna as seen by the Acharyas, as described by self-realized souls.
咁其實有好多嘅瑜伽嘅修習啊，或者不同種類嘅宗教嘅修習嘅，咁但係佢哋咧就提供唔到一啲實質嘅事實，讓你去可以清楚咁樣去掌握。咁但係我哋嘅哲學咧就係透過經典啦，透過聖人嘅事蹟啦，去講述同埋去描繪嗰啲圖畫出嚟咧。咁我哋嗰啲資料咧係真實嘅，
So it's
所
very
以讓我
important
哋可以
that
冥想。
it's very important that our meditations are also based on solid evidence, on solid. Otherwise, it's just a mental concoction of the mind.
所以最重要一點就係話，我哋嘅資料咧係從經典嗰啲真實嘅資料而嚟嘅，就唔係一啲虛構，因為我哋個腦袋虛構出嚟嘅嘢嚟嘅。
So we have deities of Krishna based on descriptions by those who were with Krishna.
咁我哋嘅神像啊，畫出嚟或者雕出嚟嘅神像咧，係基於我哋嗰啲經典裏邊所講，而講嘅人咧，亦都有人係見過嘅，嗰啲聖人啊嗰啲係見過神。
Historically speaking, Krishna's great-grandson, Maharaj Rajanaba, he asked the Gopi Vrinda Devi, she was the last one alive who remembered Krishna. He asked her, please describe. And based on her description, the ancient deities of Krishna that are still existing are based on the descriptions of Vrinda Devi, who instructed the sculptors, this is how Krishna is. He's like this, he's like this, his eyes like this, so like that. So that's why we know how Krishna looks. You see, because Maharaj Rajanava, he had statues made of Krishna, deities made of Krishna, Balaram, like that. So this is how we know.
咁所以我哋嘅神像啊，為 Krishna 嘅形象啊，點樣雕出嚟咧？就係透過見過佢嘅人，即係譬如Rajanava 就係阿 Krishna 嘅孫嚟嘅，即係嗰陣時仍然存在嘅。咁佢咧就知道 Vrindavani 唔係 Vrinda Devi 咧，就係最後存在嘅木牛姑娘，即係佢親自咁經歷佢兩個。咁佢就叫 Vrinda Devi 咧係描述 Krishna 嘅樣同埋 Balaram 嘅樣出嚟，俾嗰啲畫工咧嚟去畫出嚟嘅。咁所以咧係真實嘅，又唔係虛構出嚟嘅。
Just like, paintings or statues of Roman emperors, of Nero, or I don't know, Julius Caesar. It's because somebody carved the statue, so we know this is how he looked. So same thing with Krishna. People say, oh, how do you know this? Well, this was carved, by somebody who, following the descriptions of somebody with him.
咁所以譬如啲歷史人物啦，譬如尼魯係嘛，同埋Julius Caesar 凱撒大帝啊，咁嗰啲佢哋都有雕像㗎。咁佢哋嗰啲亦都係啲人真係見過佢哋咁嘅樣，因為佢哋近代歷史㗎嘛，咁雕出嚟㗎嘛。咁所以我哋啲神像亦都係咁樣嘅過程雕出嚟嘅，都係真係有人見過，然後描述出嚟，讓嗰啲畫工雕像嘅工去雕刻出嚟。
So Krishna is real.
所以 Krishna 係真實嘅。
The pastimes are real.
嗰啲消迴時光都係真實嘅。
History is real. Mahabharata, Ramayana, it's all, same stories spread out, in cultures throughout the world actually.
嗰啲歷史 Mahabharata 啲歷史啊，或者 Ramayana 啲歷史都係真實嘅，傳播到世界各地都係講同樣嘅歷史嘅。
We just try to get a glimpse of Krishna.
咁我哋要咁樣去窺探 Krishna 嘅，用咁嘅視力去。
So next time you chant, think about with your vibration, can you create the form? Can you visualize the form of Krishna? It's real. This is what you're trying to do. Make that prayer. Krishna, please how can I engage your service?
咁下次我哋念誦嘅時候咧，我哋就試下透過我哋嘅聲音嘅震盪咧，去創造出 Krishna 嗰個形象出嚟，然後去冥想 Krishna 係一個真實嘅人物。
So thank you for allowing me to be some service to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Service to the Vaishnavas. I don't see Krishna, but I see Krishna and the Vaishnavas.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Very wonderful and exciting.
Sorry about that.
Hare Krishna.